Hey everybody. So first of all, I hope you guys all had a happy Mother's Day with your moms. And second, I have two quick things today. The first thing is because it's kind of spring and we're easing into summer and the weather is like really up and down. Like sometimes it's really cold in the morning and then it gets to be like 80 degrees and it's just kind of wacky. I think this is a really good opportunity for Max to every day look at the weather app on your phone before he chooses his outfit. Because once we're in the swing of summer, like summer is summer and it's usually just shorts and a t-shirt, but this is that transition time, sorry, where the weather is just so bizarre. So in his room, there's that temperature gauge. And what he can do is he can look and see, like, okay, well, it's going to start out maybe in the low 50s, which is kind of chilly. And that would mean maybe a long sleeve shirt and sweatpants. But if it goes from 50 into the 80s, on that little thermometer chart in his room, he can see it's going to go from chilly to kind of hot. So in that case, he might want to wear a long sleeve shirt and shorts, or he might want to layer. I mean, he's not really one to wear a sweatshirt, but like if he wanted to wear like a long, shorts and a long sleeve shirt and a sweatshirt, or, there's definitely different combinations. And when you guys get dressed with him in the morning, you can give him those options. And I think the best thing to do is maybe for you guys to lay out several options, not because he has to wear what you lay out, but more like, look, Max, these are different, when we look at the weather app and you kind of talk about what you see and what kind of clothing is good, you can show him. So like this, and if you've laid out, if you've laid out three options, you can say, okay, well, this is a possible option, this is one, and this is one. Whatever you choose, Max, now you can go pick out like what you want to wear, but keep in mind when the weather kind of changes like this is what we want to do. So if that's the case, before you start his morning routine with him, you might want to go up there and be like, oh, I think, whatever it is you decide, a long sleeve shirt and shorts, or sweatpants and a short sleeve shirt, or again, layers, that kind of thing. It doesn't matter to me, but maybe you lay it out and then he starts his morning routine. And then you kind of just prep him like, okay, when we pick out your outfit, let's talk a little first. So I was hoping that he could do that whole process now, because I did add some things into calendar, and that's another thing, Brianna. I added the things, but I'm not 100% sure what the best way to start it is. So when you come in, if you don't mind kind of reading through what I wrote and then kind of changing it in there based on what you think is the best way to do it. Because in the calendar area, I thought he could do an activity where he gets additional practice. So like before, he used to sort the clothing to the season. Now I'd like him during calendar to be given a temperature. And so you might be like, all right, Max, it's gonna be 60 degrees today. And then he can look at that chart from his room. I can either make another copy of it or you can just pull it from up there to down here. And if he looks at that chart, he should then maybe with pictures sort, and say, okay, this would be a good outfit. And then maybe a secondary option, he could do that. Or you'll see what I wrote. You guys will all see it, but like maybe he doesn't do it that way. I don't know, but you'll see the different things that I wrote down in terms of what I was thinking. And then the other thing that I wrote down was I'd love for him to start reading and eventually writing, but for now, like reading numerical dates. And I know he's been matching the number to the months. So I wasn't sure if the next step with that would either be like holding up a number and being like, Max, what month does this number represent? Or if he should just dive right into seeing the date written in numerical form and then trying to read that out. I'm not really sure what the best place to start is there. So if you guys can just kind of let me know, or just go right into the data sheets and tweak it to be whatever you think it should be, that would be great. And then the reason I'm videotaping Tucker's crate is because I know Tucker's been really struggling and with his potty accidents and all those things, and it's not your job to clean up his accidents and to take him out 5,000 times a day. It's just not, and hate that you have to take him out at all. Like, you know how I feel about that. So Tucker has 2 crates. Well, he actually has 3, but 2 that you guys would use. He's got this one down here, and he's got one in Xavier's bedroom. It's smaller, but it's fine. I think that we have to, with him, just be a little stricter, because on the weekends, he's really not having accidents in the house unless I leave him like with my kids, and then they're not really as on top of it as I tend to be. So I think that I'm going to change things up, and I can never remember who I tell and who I don't. So this is the new thing. It is definitely better for Tucker to eat first thing in the morning when he's with me, instead of having Max feed him breakfast. Not to get into all the reasons why, but just with his pooping and, you know, whatever, sorry, gross. But with all that, it's just his schedule for him will be better. So when I feed Tucker first thing in the morning and let him out, and, you know, we do all that, then between 8 and 8:30, based on his frequency of accidents during that time, that's the best time to take Tucker outside. When you take Tucker outside, I'm gonna go upstairs and I'm gonna show you. He's a pain in the butt. We are gonna be working here with him on getting him to go wherever, but he will only go like in certain spots. So if you take him out and you're on the side of the house, he's not gonna go. If you're in the back of the house, he's not gonna go. He just, like, even if you're in the front yard, but you're like off too much to the side, he won't go. He's a pain. So I'm gonna show you where he goes. Sorry guys. Alright, so like right out in front, right there. So right there. The shot that's in that screen, that's pretty much where he goes. And that's it. Honestly, like, he's definitely picky, and sometimes if he comes directly out of his crate, if he's not been in his crate for long enough, to be honest, he'll like walk outside and want to lounge in the sun, and he'll flop on his back, and he's not gonna go. So this is gonna be the new schedule. I'm just going back downstairs because it's quiet. So between 8 and 8:30, he should go out to go potty, and then he should go directly in his crate, and he should stay there. He should stay there for a good 4 to 4.5 hours. So depending on whether he went in there at 8 or 8:30, just 4 to 4.5 hours later, he should come out. He should go potty outside, and then he should come back in, and he should only be out of his crate for another hour. And then after that hour is up, after him and Max. So if Max earns time to play with Tucker, Max has to know, sorry guys, I'm like out of breath. Max has to know that he can only play with Tucker during Tucker's playtime. It's not just about Max's time, it's about when it's good for Tucker. So if he earns that, he can play with Tucker during that hour. And then Tucker should go back into his crate after he's been out for an hour, and he should stay there until I get home. And I think that will cut down on accidents, and then Max can certainly earn more playtime with Tucker when I get home and I'll take Tucker out, or one of the kids will. You know, then he can play with him in the afternoon and that kind of thing. But that should save you guys from having to watch him and take him on 5,000 potty breaks and clean up his messes and all that stuff. He's definitely old enough now. And, you know, it might sound mean, but it's really, really not. It's still really good for him to sleep for a greater portion of the day. He's still pretty little. So I was thinking that, so the only other thing about this is if you take him out 4 hours after he has gone in, so if you're the girl in the afternoon and you take him out and he doesn't go potty, and then he comes back inside and he has an accident, if you could leave me a note or text me or just somehow let me know. And the reason is, if that happens too many times in a row, that means, because I've spoken with his trainer too, even though he's never actually met her in person, that means that we can leave him in the crate longer. Like, the urgency isn't there, and for him to go as soon as he goes outside. So he really then can, like, in half-hour increments, we can extend the amount of time that he's in his crate, and then he'll just go out a little bit later. So that is the plan. So as long as he is out in his potty zone, if he does not go after he's been in his crate for 4 hours, then that means we can leave him in his crate for 30 minutes longer. And then, we'll take it from there. But I would want to see him have accidents a couple times in a row just to make sure, because I don't want to like overstress him or his bladder or anything like that. All right, so that's enough about the dog. That's it for that. And that's pretty much all I have this week. Oh yeah, except for lunch. Oh my gosh. Okay, so Max, I'm really short on lunch. He's got peanut butter and jelly as an option. He can always do pizza toast, but I do have cheese and sauce, but that's kind of all I have for his pizza toast. He has that as an option. And he's really getting into mac and cheese, the boxed dairy-free, gluten-free stuff that we have. That is an option. And then, there's chicken tenders. That's an option too. All of that is fine. And then if you can't find any of the things that you need, just send me a text. All right, guys, thanks so much. That's it. Bye.